What's up, y'all? You're watching Union Minded. I'm your host, Eric, and today we are going to discuss a billionaire trying to overthrow the Wagner Act and get rid of union protections for workers across the country. What a wonderful, lovely day it is, and what a beautiful topic to discuss, especially on this Union Minded channel where we just all love the billionaire class and their willingness to spend pennies of their money in order to destroy the very fabric of working life that we've fought, died, and bled to create for working people in America today. So let's dive on in. This is according to a story on NPR, and you already know there's several lawsuits claiming the NLRB is unconstitutional. The NLRB, which was created after the Wagner Act was passed as a board that is supposed to be the referee between abusive bosses and oppressed workers. Let's dive in. Here we go. Accused of violating worker rights, SpaceX and Amazon go after labor board. This came out November 18th. This is by Andrea HSU. I don't know how to pronounce that last name. Hisu. Here we go. In the nearly 4 years that Joe Biden has been president, the National Labor Relations Board has taken an assertive, some say aggressive, approach to protecting workers' rights to organize and collectively bargain. Now, SpaceX and Amazon are at the forefront of a corporate-led effort to monumentally change the labor agency. On Monday, attorneys for the two companies will try to convince a panel of judges at the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals that the labor agency that was created by Congress in 1935 is unconstitutional. Their lawsuits are among more than 24 challenges brought by companies who say the NLRB's structure gives it unchecked power to shape and enforce labor law. A ruling in favor of the companies could make it much harder for workers to form unions and take collective action in pursuit of better wages and working conditions. That would be an enormous setback for labor groups who have enjoyed unprecedented support from the Biden administration, and a win for companies that have spent considerable amounts of resources over the past 4 years trying to keep unions out of their workplaces. I wonder why they don't want you to have a union. If you read labor history, you would be surprised to find how bloody and horrible it was before unions. There were no public schools before unions. That's right, kids. Your education, thank a union for it. Complicating matters is the fact that President-elect Donald Trump has named SpaceX founder and CEO Elon Musk to co-lead a new commission focused on dismantling government bureaucracy, slashing spending and jobs. Whether the NLRB is one of the agencies Musk will advise on remains unclear. Ultimately, these cases could make their way to the Supreme Court, a Supreme Court that is dominated by 6 right-wing judges. Dominated. Board found fault at Amazon and SpaceX. The lawsuits brought by Amazon and SpaceX came after the NLRB issued complaints of its own. Agency investigations found the companies had violated the rights of their employees. At Amazon, the issue was the company's refusal to collectively bargain with the Amazon labor union. Workers at Amazon's Staten Island, New York warehouse voted to unionize in 2022. They are not our friends. I hope and pray that our working families stop looking up to these billionaires like a bunch of cucks who are just getting drizzled on because they just love to fantasize that someday they'll be a billionaire from the drizzle that falls on their chin. At SpaceX, the complaint involved 8 employees who said they were fired in retaliation for speaking critically of Musk. Both companies argue that the labor agency structure violates the separation of powers. The NLRB routinely exercises authority to prosecute alleged violators of federal labor law, define the legal standards that govern the prosecutions, and weigh the facts necessary to find a violation, with only limited judicial review by Article III courts, attorneys for SpaceX wrote in a court filing. The companies also find fault with the president's inability to fire NLRB board members who serve 5-year terms, and in SpaceX's case, its administrative law judges. Additionally, they argue that NLRB's system for adjudicating cases denies them the right to a trial by jury. A trial by jury for a corporate entity. Why was the NLRB put into effect? Was it because there were sham courtroom cases that were putting union members to be murdered at the gallows as a display to everyone else to not think about organizing? Is this part of our labor history? Yeah, it is. So why is it necessary to be an isolated board that judges just on the merits of cases and to be able to interpret law? Because they can't trust the business entities in this country. That's why. They will poison us. They will put lead in our paint. They will kill us off. They will lie about the climate. They will do everything they can to increase their profits. They will corrupt unions, and union leaders will sell out to them, and they will do all of these things to hurt us. And you want the NLRB to be subject to the same corruption? It goes beyond logic. NLRB General Counsel Jennifer Abruzzo, a Biden appointee, calls the lawsuits a distraction, pointing to the agency's 90-year history of governing labor management relations. Again, this is not a new concept. This thing has been around since 1935 and has sometimes done a great job, sometimes done a poor job. It all depended on the appointees that were put, but it's the system that was created in place of constant worker upheaval, which is where we're headed if you take away the NLRB and you take away workers' options for how they can adjudicate their own problems. Because we're still humans at the end of the day, and we're not going to put up with nonsense at the end of the day. It may take a while to get there, but eventually we push back. It's been the same way throughout history. Every single stage of our history, working people fought back against tyrants. Every single stage. You think something's going to change now? When you do some nonsense like this, you're in for a rude awakening. We are trying to hold violators of our statute accountable, she said at the National Press Club in October. It would be chaos if the agency was not allowed to perform its functions and do it properly. Workers' advocates are bracing for a slowdown in labor law enforcement in a second Trump administration. For starters, Trump is expected to fire Abruzzo immediately, exercising power that he does hold. Biden fired Trump's appointee to that position on his first day in office. Since 2021, Abruzzo, who acts as the NLRB's prosecutor, has taken a broad view of the protections labor law offers private sector employees. She has worked to remove barriers to organizing, most recently winning a board ruling outlawing captive audience meetings, or mandatory meetings at which employers try to dissuade workers from unionizing. Old tactics. Trump is expected to replace Abruzzo with someone friendly to employers who will set a new tone for enforcement. Last time around, Trump's pick for the job was Peter Robb, a management-side labor attorney who served as lead counsel for President Ronald Reagan during the air traffic controllers' strike. In the SpaceX and Amazon cases, all expectations are that a Trump-appointed general counsel will not fight any ruling favorable to the companies. However, similar lawsuits filed elsewhere in the country could result in conflicting court decisions. That's the story. Understand the times that we're in, and that they're coming for us. They never stopped coming for us. And if we do not awaken those in the positions to actually move labor and actually make it be a vanguard, if we're not able to move them, it's on us to replace them. It's on us to revitalize labor. I'm sick and tired of the pussyfooting around. I'm sick and tired of the friendliness. We're buddies. We're partners. No, we're not. No, we are not. Where are you, partners? Why aren't you out there screaming about this nonsense from your corporate buddies? It's horseshit. It's a game that's put in front of our face to keep us distracted. I am not distracted. I'm laser focused. I know who my enemy is. I look up and I see them all the time. I know who my allies are. I look left and right and I see them all the time. You know the message, man. The fight's not left and right, it's up and down. It's going to take solidarity to win always. Each one teach one, get out there and reach one. And remember, there could be no union without you and I front and center. Let's fucking go.